Peace and blessings, everybody listening. Welcome to my classroom. Let's put out a quick prayer before we get started. You know we got to put out that good energy into the universe. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kura udu berabinas, malikinas, ilahinas. Men sharil waswasil kunas. Alati yuwaswisu fisadorinas. Mina jinnati wanas. Okay, now that we dispel the negative energy and the evil jinn spirits away from us, let's talk about two things being idolized this December season. The forbidden decorated idol tree and Santa Claus. But let's start off with the forbidden decorated idol tree. In the Torah, the Old Testament, the book of Jeremiah 10, verses 1 through 5, it says, "Hear you the word which the Lord speaks to you, O house of Israel. Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it." Y'all see the work? Y'all see the workman cutting the tree out of the forest with the axe? They deck it. They decorate it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. So the Lord is talking to the house of Israel. If you are a member of the house of Israel, which is most likely the Negroes, the descendants of slaves in America today, in the Caribbeans and elsewhere, if you fit the curses, if you are an Israelite, you are not supposed to follow the way of the heathen, because the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven. They got vain customs. What does dismay mean? Dismay means to cause stress and anxiety. And what are they dismayed at? They are dismayed at the signs of heaven. What are the signs of heaven? The signs of heaven is the winter solstice. What is a heathen? A heathen is somebody that does not worship the God of Abraham. If it's not the God of Abraham, the creator of the heavens and the universe, then they are heathen. The heathen were dismayed, distressed. They grew anxiety at the signs of heaven, at the winter solstice. The sun was getting shorter and shorter during the winter solstice, which means sun stands still, which occurs December 21st. And on December 25th, the sun starts moving again and the days start getting longer again. They call that the birth of the sun. S-U-N. People who lived in the northern parts of Europe were dismayed at this heavenly event every year. Heaven is another word for sky, space. So the seasonal movements of the sun that took place in space had the heathen stressed out, dismayed. They ain't know no better. They didn't worship Yah Allah, the Most High. They worshiped the sun and Shaitan by default. People that live near the Arctic Circle, such as Norway, Finland, Greenland, Iceland, Britain, all them areas, they barely got sun during this time of the year. Some days they would get 5 to 6 hours of sun. It was no heat, no crops. It was just Arctic blasts of winter, killing off family, friends, and livestock and crops. People froze to death back in those days. It wasn't no electricity or heaters back then. You had to burn a log and hope the snow didn't put it out. It was a time of being dismayed. All they saw was snow and ice. All the trees was dead. It was with no leaves, no food grew, and it was always dark. Imagine living in that state. Every year, you knew winter was coming, and you didn't know if you or your family members would survive. Who's seen Game of Thrones? Y'all know how real that part of the world took the coming of winter. Anyways, the only thing the people of the Nordic region saw that was still alive during this time of the year and was still green with life was the evergreen tree. So they would cut these evergreen trees down and drag them back to their homes and decorate them with silver and gold and sit them upright as the palm tree. They will idolize this tree, hoping to please the sun and to please their chief god, Odin of Asgard, aka the North Pole Kingdom. We're going to get back into Odin in a little bit. These people were sun worshippers. They believed the evergreen tree contains some type of magic. They would get a lot of their They will also take branches and twigs off of these evergreen trees and make wreaths on their doors as protection. And they will have mistletoes hanging around their house. Mistletoe is another plant that stays green during winter. It stays green all year long. They believe these plants, the evergreen and the mistletoe, has some kind of magic power. They will get a lot of their advice from pagan religious leaders called Druids. Druids are men from the Northern Europe, Celtic, and Nordic countries. Druids are the ancestors, the precursor of witches and wizards and warlocks. They are who witches and warlocks get their practices from. Druids worship many false gods and the sun, and they will make animal sacrifices and gather up ingredients and make potions, and they will build structures and altars to hold the ceremonies such as Stonehenge. I know y'all seen Stonehenge before. They will also meet in the forests and caves to hold chants and rituals. They were communicating with spirits, aka jinn. Matter of fact, Druids are the ones who started Halloween, Samhain, the worship of Samhain, which was their name for Satan, the lord of the underworld. On October 31st, they believe the dark spirits rose up at sunset. And the Druids would use that opportunity to communicate with the demons that came out that during that time and conjure them up and make rituals and spells. And y'all send y'all kids out on October 31st to go play with these demons. So Halloween and the early beginning of Christmas customs, they all come from these Druids, which is the forefathers of witches. Now back to the Druids. The Druids will advise the people to cut down evergreen trees and place wreaths on their homes for protection of the winter coming. They will advise people to decorate their evergreen trees with silver and gold to please the sun, and the sun will return and the daylight will get longer. They believe these evergreen trees have some kind of magic or life force that will be transferred into their homes as it stood in their midst. In Jeremiah 10, the Lord tells us this custom is vain. This is what the Lord says. It's pointless. It's the tradition of pagans and heathens. The Druids would get this info orally passed down through oral memory from their ancestors who migrated from ancient Babylon to Europe. Ancient Babylon is the birthplace of magic. Babylon is where it all started. In the Quran, the Most High sent two angels to Babylon, Harut and Marut, and those angels began to teach men magic as a test. Babylon was ruled by King Nimrod, great-grandson of Noah, but Nimrod was against God, and he wanted to be worshipped as God himself. So he ordered the building of the Tower of Babel with the intentions of building it to the heavens to be like the Most High himself. King Nimrod, he was married to his mother, Semiramis, sick demonic incest. Semiramis is called different names in different times in different regions. Easter, Isis, Rhea, Aphrodite, the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is based off the goddess of Babylon. They all the same. They all come from the same woman. That's why a lot of people say the woman is God, the black woman is God, because Semiramis was a black queen of Babylon who wanted to be worshipped as a goddess. After Nimrod died, to retain her authority over the land, she lied to the people and said Nimrod is now the sun god Baal. Baal, I don't know how to pronounce it, Baal, Lord of Heaven. So instead of being known as Queen of Babylon, she changed her title to Goddess, Queen of Heaven. She was also known as Goddess of Sex and Fertility, aka fornication. She was the goddess of fornication. She invented prostitution. She is the whore of Babylon. And her husband cast a spell on mankind that will last forever. The worship of her and him as God and goddess. That's why today we still see the spell working, because people still worship Easter and her customs. And people still idolize the decorated tree of Nimrod. A custom she started by the whisperings of Satan. When Nimrod died, she told her people that she saw an evergreen sprout from his grave or from a dead stump. And she said his spirit will visit this tree on December 25th and bless it. So Semiramis will erect a tree and decorate it, and the people of Babylon will come place gifts and offerings under this tree for the spirit of Nimrod. We all know Nimrod's spirit ain't visiting these trees. It's Satan laughing, causing the Babylonians to worship a dead man, Nimrod, and to worship the sun. By default, when you worship the sun, you're worshiping Satan. And people will have their own mini tree in their homes for Nimrod's birthday on December 25th and decorate it and pray to it and dedicate this tree altar, awaiting the spirit of Nimrod to come bless this tree. Let me say it again. The people of Babylon would decorate trees and wait for the spirit of Nimrod to come bless this tree on December 25th. Pay attention. Sounds a lot familiar what's going on today. Not to mention the Christmas tree looks a lot like the Tower of Babel, and it looks like a pyramid. Y'all got a pyramid in the middle of your homes. Y'all got many towers of Babel in your homes in the form of Christmas trees. Look at this depiction of Nimrod right here from 4,000 years ago, way before the birth of Christ, way before Christmas, way before Santa Claus came. He is the first Santa Claus, as we can see. Nimrod, you see what he's holding? He's holding a reindeer. Nimrod is depicted holding a reindeer 4,000 years ago. And what else is he holding? He's holding a fir tree. And speaking of fir trees, let's go to Isaiah 14:8. In the book of Isaiah 14:8, it says this verse. Before I get into it, this verse talks about how the earth will be in a joyous celebration when Babylon is destroyed. Let's talk about the destruction of Babylon. When Babylon is destroyed in the book of Isaiah 14:8, yes, the fir trees rejoice at you, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are laid down, no feller is come up against us. We all see what a fir tree is. And what is a feller? What is a feller? A feller is a person who cuts down trees. They also got a machine today called a feller that cuts down trees. A lumberjack. That's what a feller is. Of all the trees in the world, why does the Most High reveal to Isaiah that the fir tree will rejoice when Babylon is destroyed? Because today, the daughter of Babylon, which is America, cuts down millions of evergreen trees for a forbidden pagan custom. From Babylon, this custom was passed down in some form all over the world. Different cultures throughout time had their own bits and remnants of the original Babylonian custom. Different names for their Nimrod-derived gods of December 25th, such as the Egyptians had Horus, the Assyrians and Persians had Mithra, the Romans had Saturn, the Nordic people had Odin. Let's get into Odin. The Vikings, the Nordic people, they worship Odin and Thor. Y'all seen the movie Thor? Y'all remember what his father looked like from the Avengers? This is who they used to worship in the northern part of Europe. That's Odin. That's Odin. Let's go back. Y'all peep how Odin is always depicted with having one eye? You see how Odin is always depicted as having one eye? Odin was blind in one eye, like Horus. These are Antichrist, the Jaws, false messiahs, deceivers. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described to his people that the Dajjal, which is Arabic for Antichrist, deceiver, he will be blind in one eye when he appears. That's why today we see the followers of the Antichrist using the one eye symbol, showing each other they are down with him when he arrives, such as the back of the dollar bill, which is the root of all evil. The Illuminati one eye pyramid. A lot of celebrities such as her, Katy Perry, and Madonna, all them other elite celebrities, they all post pictures with the one eye. The people that follow Egyptology, Kemet, and Pharaoh. Pharaoh was against the Most High. They rejected him and his existence. They reject that God exists. So these are Antichrist people. So the Nordic people believed in something called the wild hunt. The wild hunt is an event that takes place around the winter solstice. They believe Odin flies in the sky on his flying 8-legged horse called Sleipnir, and with flying hounds and other flying ghosts that fly at night during this wild hunt to snatch up souls and carry them off. Remember, these people lived in the northern part of the world, the Arctic region, with blizzards and Arctic storms. They thought it was Odin during the wild hunt, with all the wind howling and the ghostly sounds of the storm. And these people, they believe that's another depiction of Odin, the wild hunt. Y'all see Odin flying on his 8-legged horse and his hounds and his other army. They believe around December 21st to 25th, they believe this event took place when Odin would fly on his flying animal. And people believe that whoever had this decorated gold and silver tree in their homes, that they will be safe from the wild hunt of Odin. They prayed to this tree and huddled around it during the blizzards, waiting until December 25th when the sun returns and the days get longer. Which brings me to the next topic, which is Santa Claus. As we can see, that's not Santa Claus, that's Odin. But as we can see, Santa Claus gets his white bearded depiction and flying reindeer and elves concept from a pagan antichrist false god Odin, the god of the north, and his flying horse and flying ghost spirit elves. Santa Claus represents Satan. Satan has the same exact letters as Santa. It's an anagram. You just switch the letters around to spell a different word, but it's the same character. In the Bible, it warns us in the book of 2 Corinthians 11:14, do not be shocked because Satan himself disguises himself as an angel of light. It says, and no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Satan disguises, he transforms himself as an angel of light. As we can see, Claus is also an anagram of Lucas. Lucas means light in Latin, which is the language of the Romans spoke. Lucas means light. Lucas is also a code word for Lucifer, which means light bringer in Hebrew. So Santa Claus is Santa Light, the angel of light. People bring out the lights for Santa Claus. They decorate their homes and they decorate their trees. Before the Messiah was born, the Romans celebrated something called Saturnalia, or on December 25th, way before Christ was born. During Saturnalia, the feast of Satan, Saturn, that's their name for Satan. The Romans used to openly worship Satan under the name of Saturn. During Saturnalia, aka Saturnalia, the feast of Satan, the Romans would have a feast, banquets. They would get drunk, play loud music, make noise, have merry festivities, get drunk, gender reverse role playing, and they have sodomite sex and cross-dressing sex, and they would have orgies and exchange gifts, and they would decorate their homes and they would decorate their homes and they would decorate the streets with candles, the festival of lights. Then a few days later, they will. This is Saturnalia. This is what the Bible has to say about Saturnalia. In 1 Peter 4:3, for you have spent enough time in the past doing what the Gentiles chose to do, living in lasciviousness, however you pronounce that, which means sexual sensuality, lust, excess of wine. They was getting drunk, orgies, revelings, which means wild parties, and banquets, which means feasts, and idolatry. So the Bible already exposed Saturnalia to us and told us, do not spend our time doing what the pagans chose to do. And a few days after Saturnalia, they will pray to their Roman god Janus. Janus is depicted as having two heads. He's the god of the New Year's. That's where January get his name from, which is pagan also, because according to the Bible in the book of Exodus, it says in Exodus 12:2, it says this month is to be for you the first month of the year to you. That month is talking about the month of Passover, which is Abib. Abib means to spring. It means sprout. When the new grain, the new ear of the grain start to sprout. So that's what Abib means. And so according to God, the new year begins in spring, not in the middle of dead winter. It's dedicated to a false pagan Roman god Janus. So after the Messiah Christ was born, after he left, his message started to spread throughout the world, especially in the Roman Empire. So a lot of citizens of Rome, they start converting to Christianity. They start following after Christ. So to be a follower after Christ, you can no longer worship Saturn no more. But they didn't want to give up their favorite holiday of the year, the most lively, fun holiday of the year, which is Saturnalia, which they waited to the end of the year every year, just like we do today. Everybody waits until Christmas, which is everybody's favorite holiday. But back in the Roman times, Saturnalia was everybody's favorite holiday. And the Romans, they didn't want to give it up. They didn't want to give up the worship of Saturn. So the Roman emperor, they changed Saturnalia into Christmas. But before that, they said something called Sol Invictus, which means the unconquerable sun, which means the worship of the sun, S-U-N, on December 25th. But then eventually they changed everything to Christmas so they could go ahead and continue to practice their pagan customs under the disguise of a new name, which is Christmas, which is, they say, is supposed to be dedicated to the birth of Christ. But really, it's the secret worship of Satan and Odin under the disguise of a friendly angel of light called Santa Claus, aka Old Saint Nick. Now, you look in the dictionary, you know Old Nick. The definition of Old Nick is the devil. You look in the dictionary, Old Nick means the devil. Is one of Satan's nicknames. The old iniquity, old sinner, that old red serpent. You see, devil, Satan, Old Nick. In the book of Revelations 12:9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. That old serpent deceived the whole entire world. Everybody out here worshiping Santa Claus and not even knowing it's Satan in disguise of the angel, as an angel of light, Santa Claus. And speaking of claws, don't the word claws sound like the word claws? Like, the sharp nails, claws. So anyways, Santa Claus' true form is a devil called Krampus. The etymology of Krampus means claw. That's what Krampus means. It means claw. Krampus is when Santa appears as his true form, the devil, to carry away the lost souls, the souls of kids who refuse to worship and please Santa. He carried them back into the hellfire, aka up to the chimney. So now that we covered, who Santa Claus is and his true identity, he's really Satan in disguise, the angel of light. Let's let the Holy Scriptures talk. Let's turn to Isaiah 14:13. It says, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the farthest sides of the north. As we can see here, Lucifer, Satan, said he will raise his throne above the stars of God. He will sit in the furthest side of the north. What is the most furthest side of the north? What's the most northern part of Earth? The most northern part of Earth is the North Pole. In other translations, it says he's going to sit in the uttermost parts of the north, in the far north, in the remote part of the north. Satan says he will sit in the furthest sides of the north. That is the North Pole. Santa Claus represents Satan. That's why people who live close to the North Pole, such as the Nordic people, they worship Odin, the one-eyed god from the north, who flies a flying 8-legged horse to collect souls. Santa Claus is depicted as his angel of light. That's Odin again. Santa Claus is depicted as his angel of light who flies from the North Pole, ascending his throne above the clouds. In Isaiah 14:14, it says, I, Lucifer said, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You see how they depict Santa Claus? He represents Satan. He is worshipped like the Most High. All year long, kids worship Santa Claus and pray to him and write letters to him as if he's the Most High, hoping to receive his blessings and to be written in on his good list and not his naughty list, as if he's the Most High, judging your good deeds and bad deeds. Parents take their kids to the palace of materialism, the palace of money, aka the mall. Money's the root of all evil. You see how the dollar sign looks like a snake? Because money is the root of all evil. And people take their kids to the palace where there is a mock throne of Satan in the middle of the mall with a man dressed up as Santa Claus surrounded by his friendly elves sitting under the forbidden decorated tree. And kids lined up to go visit this man and sit on his lap, and as if he's a prophet or something, and they pray to him and ask of him for gifts and toys, and the parents go along with this foolish custom, a great lie to deceive their kids and to worship Satan as the Most High. Iesus, Jesus, Yahshua, he said, let the little kids come to him, not to Satan. Your kids supposed to be going to see the Messiah, not Satan. And speaking of elves, the etymology of the word elf is nightmare. Elf means nightmare. It also means evil spirit, goblin, an incubus, a mischievous evil spirit. An elf is a shaitan, it's a jinn. Santa's little helpers are demons, but today y'all call them friendly, nice little elves. In Isaiah 5:20, it says, woe unto him that call evil good and that call good evil. Y'all calling Santa Claus and his little demon elves good creatures. Let's see what the Bible has to say about these pagan holidays. Matter of fact, before we get there, in Europe, they say Santa's elves is black slaves. Black slaves is his elves. Anyway, in the book of Amos 5:21, the Most High says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Christmas is a feast day. The Most High said, what? I despise your feast days. Thanksgiving, Easter, those are all feast days. The Most High, he said, what? I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He don't want to smell your sacred prayers and your offering. You offering this food to the Most High, saying your grace and your blessings over it. The Most High said he don't want to smell in it. He don't want to be part of your solemn, your sacred, your prayer congregations, your prayer assemblies over these feasts. In verse 23, it says, take you away from me the noise of your songs, for I will not hear the melody of your viols. The Most High don't want to hear all them Christmas carols. All December long, people are singing Christmas carols and they playing all these Christmas songs on the PAs and the malls and the radios all December long. The Most High don't want to hear this. The Most High don't want to hear these Christmas carols. It's noise to him. They're not dedicated to him. They're dedicated to Satan. These songs dedicated to the sun worship, S-U-N. So, y'all say December 25th is Jesus' birthday, but in the Satanic Bible, written by Anton LaVey, an evil Satan worshiper, on page 96, it says, the highest of all holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. It's even higher than Halloween, which is another Satanic Bible holiday. Celebrating birthdays is a Satanic holiday according to the Satanic Bible. Let that sink in. You should spend your birthdays praying and repenting because you're a year closer to death and you have another year of sins piled up in your book of deeds that will be presented to you on the day of judgment when you stand before the Most High, Ya Allah. Now that I expose Christmas, now that I expose Santa Claus and I expose the forbidden decorated tree, will you burn this idol? Will you burn this idol like the Bible tells us to in the book of Deuteronomy 7:25? It says, the graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into your house, lest you be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly hate it, for it is a cursed thing. You see, the Grinch was right. You supposed, now that y'all watching this video and y'all getting all this truth and knowledge about these Christmas trees, you supposed to burn it. You supposed to burn it in fire, and you ain't supposed to be sitting around it, admiring it and looking at it, the beautiful silver and gold decorations and the ornaments and all this extra nonsense you put on these Christmas trees, desiring it. No, it is a snare to you. It is a snare. You are trapped every single year trying to please your kids with money that you can't afford to buy gifts for a fat white man to get all the credit for. Satan gets all the praise and credit for the gifts. Burn this crap, man. Get rid of it. Be like the Grinch, man. He been doing this, man. It's an abomination. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thy house, lest you be a cursed thing like it. You are cursed when you bring a decorated idol tree into your house, because it is forbidden. The Most High forbid it to the house of Israel. Do not decorate trees. You're supposed to, matter of fact, you're supposed to hate it and detest it. It is a cursed thing. That's why you have Santa Claus, Satan, come down your chimney, come down the hellfire, the smoke and the fire to curse this tree. And I already know what y'all parents gonna say. You doing it for the kids. You doing it for the kids so the kids can have fun. Well, the Most High got an answer for all your excuses. In the book of Matthew 10:37, it says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Stop leading your kids into the hellfire. It is a snare. It is a trap. These idol tree and Santa Claus and all these gifts is a trap to leading you to a path into the hellfire. In Proverbs 22:6, this is what you're supposed to do to the kids when they're young. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Tell your kids the truth early. And you ain't got to worry about being in this trap every year, trying to please a lot, trying to sell this lie to them. Christmas is the most religious, biggest event of the year. And you have Santa Claus as the main character of this holiday. He's a liar. You want to know another name for Santa Claus in Europe? Father Christmas. Christmas is a lie. Let's read what John 8:44 has to say. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father it is your will to do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and standeth not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Father Christmas is the father of liars. He is the devil. All he do was lie. Christmas is a lie. Santa Claus is a lie. Now, on December 25th, all the kids gonna wake up and give all praise and glory to Santa Claus.